Hi, my name is Barbara Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of NYO Canada. I'm delighted this morning to introduce our resident quartet, the FORMOSA Quartet, Chen, Jasmine Lin, Deborah Pei, and Wayne Lee. We'll start this morning with one of our student quartets, and they'll be performing the Mozart Hunt Quartet.
Great job.
Wonderful playing.
Yeah, sounds really good. Wayne did a good job with you. Okay, good. So one of my most general comments would be that your downbeats in any given phrase seem quite similar in, I would say, strength and inflection. I know you're probably already thinking a lot about this, right? But okay, just those two downbeats. Can you briefly describe to me what might be some differences between those two downbeats?
Like in the two bars?
Yeah, so the first downbeat and the second downbeat. What? Any thoughts?
I think the first bar is heavier.
Okay.
It's the
Yes.
beginning
Yes.
of
I would agree with that. Anything else? Anything else related to that, or do you all agree with that? Yeah. Okay. So one way to sort of lighten up the second bar is to make it completely horizontal, as compared to the first downbeat. So yep, you have a certain verticality, right? Okay. Can we try that? Just dissolve the verticality a little bit in the second measure, the second downbeat. Good. That's better. Now, what's still a little too similar now is the first four and the latter four bars. So how can we make it into an 8-bar phrase rather than sounding like we're doing the same thing twice for 4 bars long each? Any? I mean, obviously the music is a little different, right? We have da 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 ba ba, and then da dee dum bum ba dum, and then the cadence. I mean the second 2 bars cadences. But any thoughts about it?
Into it a little bit?
Yes. So we tie, right, the moment of tying it through. Also, think a little bit about just if you were to stage this, if this were, I don't know, a play or an opera or a movie, think about maybe, just use your imagination, the second 2 bar, the latter 4 bars, just turn your face and face the other part of the audience. So, and then latter 4 bars, sing to this half of the audience. Can you just see what that does to your sound? Yeah. Just face a different direction.
Physically?
No, not physically, just in your imagination. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I like that.
Just to continue with what Jasmine was trying to get you to feel in different directions when you're playing, I feel there are 2 directions that you can always think, which one am I in right now? Just up and down. Right? We have up bow and down bow, and that's the most natural direction to feel. So what I'm missing from your playthrough is I'm not quite getting a clear sense of whether this note is belong to an up group or this bar is still belong to an up group. Because when you were playing the upbeat just now, even though it's with great enthusiasm and very nice sound, it's quite serious and stern sounding to me, rather than the up bow on the upbeat should have a inviting upward feeling. So then when you go to the down, on the downbeat, there's already a difference in terms of the direction in the notes, right? And also continue to what Jasmine was saying, to me the second bar also has more of an upward characteristic to it. You know, the Emma, the cellist, you have your da-dee-dum, you know, your line goes up. But if da-dee-dum, if you sing like that, then everything is kind of down. So if you have that kind of up and down feeling, I think that will even enhance what Jasmine was suggesting even more. Yeah, could you try that once again, the very first phrase, and really feel, where am I now? Is it up or down? That's That's great. Yeah, so I can sense that more clearly now. But you can also now insert different degrees of up and different degrees of down, right? So the two upbeat to bar 1 and to bar 4 can have a different kind of enthusiasm. The second one can have even more up and can also have even more down, so more contrast that way. Yeah. And the other thing that I have noticed while you're playing through is that I'm not quite getting a clear sense of characters throughout this whole movement in different sections. Have you talked about that in trying to bring that out? Yeah. So to you, let's say, what is the beginning character compared to when Dorothy goes on to this really hyper and happy trill while the middle voice is doing the line? What is the difference?
We made a story out of.
Oh,
Okay.
let's hear the story.
They go on a hunt.
They go on a.
Obviously,
They go on a hunt.
a hunting.
Oh,
trip.
yes, okay.
And then at some point, the females at home are sad that their husbands left.
Okay.
Where is that?
We're at bar 9.
Oh,
Okay.
nice, okay.
And then when I play my trill, I guess they're like, that's like the catalyst of them going into the forest, maybe, or yeah. And then in the development section, we lose a member of our gang.
Oh, man, that's really sad. You mean
No, here, we're like
Oh.
hunting for our mate because we lost him.
Yeah. It is very searching for something, right? Or someone, or I think of me searching for my dog there. Yeah, anyway, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So at 26, it's when you're feeling that they're coming back, so you're happy, or they're calling you from the woods, and that's the phone call. No, it's a free yeah. So that kind of difference in the story line can come out more, and in that section where you have could be, if you're out on the hunt, you're looking this way, you're looking that way. Is the duck there, or what you're trying to shoot next? Yeah. So that kind of a searching quality I think can be even more lively, like that. So maybe the very beginning doesn't have to be so enthusiastic outwardly, right? Because if you already show that, then if the beginning of the story is the most dramatic moment, then it's hard to make the storyline go up and down more. Yeah. So if you can keep a sense of a liveliness and freshness in the very beginning, instead of, I know that you're all feeling the adrenaline because you're performing in front, but try to sit back and kind of enjoy the nice day out first. Yeah.
Yeah, just to continue the idea of characterization, not only I think it's awesome that you guys came up with a storyline, but make it also specific to the more local gestures. Like what are they, within your story? Like for example, this in measure 50, that forte piano, that could be, if you continue using your imagination, it's maybe something being lifted up and then right falling back into the. Have you talked about what that gesture is in your story at all? Yeah. What is it? Oh, Alex.
Kind of decided it'd be like a gunshot type of thing.
That one's a gunshot. Da, da, dee, da, da, ba, da, da, da. Maybe a little. Maybe like a.
I would agree with you if it's a sforzando in fortissimo, but it's a forte piano, so either it's a gun that doesn't have too much power, or so.
Yeah, to me, it's actually it feels like something is being lifted. Maybe they're making camp that night, and they're like lifting a cloth up and putting it back down, or a tent, and so there's something lifted off, and then a moment of suspension, and then da da da, right? So maybe you can imagine that gesture. Do you want to try that? Let's see, pick up to 47 maybe. It's I mean, I don't want to get in the way of the gunshot, but I like that.
And even there, when Dorothy is playing da 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 dum bum bum ba dum, and the Colli and Emma, you have the same line when they're kind of answering each other. And I wondered, those are small nuance. If you can also react to the difference between how Dorothy's playing and how Alex is playing it. How the violin sounds and how the viola sounds. Violin obviously sounds brighter, and a little bit more melancholic or mellower sound over here. So you can kind of think about that, and I think naturally you're going to do something different with your sound. So be more aware of all the surrounding, all the happenings around you, and I think that'll be even better, telling the story even better. Yeah. The other thing that I have noticed is that it would really help the ensemble playing, and also if you want to feel the up feeling in some of the gesture, if you can be more familiar with starting from the string, right? It looks like you have talked about that before in the coachings as well. And for instance, bar 60, you have how do you pronounce that forte piano together? How do you get the shape, the immediately shying away shape together? If you were all kind of not thinking and dropping your bow, it's going to sound more or less together, but it's not going to sound perfectly together. Yeah. So there's always that catching moment of your bow on the string. Yeah. So make sure that you feel that contact of the bow to the string. Yeah. Can you try once from upbeat to 61? Yeah, and also the placement of the bow when we are talking about starting from the string is very important. I see some of you starting in the middle of the bow or a little bit on the upper half. It's very difficult to feel comfortable and put your bow on the string when it's so far away from you on the upper half. If you were to try more towards the middle and lower part of the bow, you'll have much more control over there. And you can use smaller gesture and get the same effectiveness on the up. So if you can try to, so if you can, don't play starting from here. If you can go from here, yeah, and you'll find the grabbing of the quality of grabbing even more secure. Can you try that one more time? And since you're more secure with that, if you can also try to show me the layers of all the forte piano more clearly, increasing through bar 63 and 4, right?
Let me just add one thing before you start. So it's obviously we want the da 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 to just be one thing, right? Da 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 da. We don't want to hear each note, da 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 sustained. But it's very easy to just play the beginning of that down bow and just move our fingers at the. But if we were singing it, da 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 da, it's actually. La, it's you kind of have to maneuver your voice around those notes a little bit. So think about that as you're playing it. So you're actually singing each note, yeah, even though it's just one gesture.
That's another really important chord that you have to start on the string together. Yeah. So, and that's not a gunshot, even though it's a forte piano, right? It's they have arrived somewhere there, feeling the resting quality. So, after you play that forte and going to piano, really having that kind of open and relaxed feeling there. Okay. I want to go back to finding the character, and I'm curious to have you play different sections and really show the difference in the storyline. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing that you can get out of this master class, is really showing the story that you're already imagining and thinking. Yeah. Let's try from the very beginning. So think of this freshness. Okay, can we jump over to bar 26? And this is supposed to be a bit more excited, right? Okay, yeah. So I feel that the sonority and the energy in the beginning is hard for you to feel you can play more in that section. Yeah. Let's try once the very beginning. Don't think that it's forte, just think that it's something open and cheerful. Yeah. So it's not the forte, it's not loud. It's just that you have a lot of energy in the beginning of the morning. You don't have to scream. Right? You just have to feel the refreshing quality. Okay, good. Now let's jump over to going into 26. Maybe let's try from 2 bars before that, and the feeling of something exciting is coming up. Yeah. Okay. That was really nice. And now the melody is in the middle voice, and as a violist, I know that whatever we do, we actually have to do much more to have the effect that we're feeling come out. Yeah. So right there, not only 2 of you needs to really feel the enjoyment inside. You have to really show the enjoyment. And I think that contrast, I can feel that now, and so really try to remember the contrast. Yeah.
Just right here where you guys have the tune. It's same thing as the beginning. The second measure is an up measure, yeah, and a little less strong, I think. Even though you come in, and so think about D up ba ba da ba be ya bum, yeah. I'm gonna try one more time. Right from there. Da dum ba 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 da da dum bum bum. Okay, yeah. Where are we in the story here? This is, I mean, or what character does this it portray? Or what kind of personality, or what's going on here? Any thoughts? Any fluttery? Okay, is feeding. Okay, do you have it in your story? What scene this is?
You can kind of imagine this as like just kind of like sounds in the words.
Okay, so echoing back and forth or something, or so something a little bit playful, right? Or interactive, yeah. So I think the rests here are super important. I'm feeling that your rhythm is really good and you're coming in the right place, but da 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 da. I don't feel that your da da, right, is not the action; it's a reaction. But that, right? Ba 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 da 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 ba ba ba. Right? So let's try that with really feeling that rest very, very strongly, so you can react to it.
And just imagine that you're really in the woods and you're hearing the sounds here and there, so it's like a surround sound environment, right? So even though you're sitting in formation like this, you want to imagine that 4 statement of that motive is coming from 4 different spaces. And the timing-wise, even though you're playing in time, but it has to feel very surprising. It's coming from here, there, and then you're looking around trying to find your next target. Good. Yeah. So, and I think one thing to add to that is your bum bum ba da 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 da. Toward the end of each of that can be more of a question and up feeling. Yeah, because part of the story is that you're looking around trying to search where that sound is coming from, right? So when later you're da 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 da, you're zooming in. Yeah. Yeah. So you're searching and then going together. You know, that kind of feeling. Yeah, can you try that one more time? Just act it out a little bit. Like I saw your picture of running and going to the park, and trying to hunt some duck. But you know, just really trying to look for them. Yeah, that was great. So right here, I can really get that gotcha moment, like yeah.
And Dorothy, do me a favor and try first position here. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it for our time.
All right. Great job, you guys.
Thank you.
So much.